Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Epic Entrepreneur Podcast, powered by Action Coach all over the world. Today, I'm your host, Coach Andy O'Brien, and my esteemed guest is Alan Stevens, and he is with us on holiday from sunny Spain.
I'm the Managing Director of Cam Rider NDI. NDI stands for Norwich, and Ipswich, and they're towns in East Anglia in the UK. What I do is motorcycle training, and we do everything from very basic training all the way through to advanced training.
Give us the top 3 things that made you successful in this business, and how can others follow your footsteps?
Well, the very first thing I did was introspective. I took a good look at myself. Now, being a police officer and for so long, I realised that yes, I'm used to managing people, I'm used to managing tasks, and I'm used to managing within a budget. What I wasn't aware of is how to manage a company. So I set about in upskilling myself in business, and I came to Action Coach to be upskilled. And that worked extremely well for me. So shortly after that, I was then had a vision of where the company currently is, and it was just a small hobby, to where I wanted it to be. So I set about making goals and setting a vision for how the company would look in the future. And I dreamt, Andy, I dreamt big. Where do I want this company to be? Oh, well, I want to be a multi-millionaire, and I dreamt big. But then I sat down, how am I going to achieve that? What can I actually do to achieve it? So that was the very first thing, or the 2 first things that I did. Then after that, I wanted the correct people around me. So the instructors that we employ weren't just employed for their skills in teaching motorcycle. I wanted them to buy into the business, to understand the business, to understand our values and what we wanted to be. We didn't want to just set out to train people. We wanted people to be safe, but we also take great pride in going that step further. We are one of the very few motorcycle trainers in the country, in the UK, that are quite happy to take people with neurodiversity issues, with physical disabilities. A lot of companies will turn them away. We won't. We will go to, sometimes we'll go to people's houses if that's where they need to be picked up from and bring them to our centre. We would do what we can to help people, and that sets us apart. It's our USP, if you like.
So you talked about passion a little bit earlier. So why motorcycle training? Why this area of business for you and your family?
This may come as a surprise. I didn't actually set out to do this. I was helping a friend who needed some assistance in running the business. And then I thought, actually, I want to be the best I can at doing this. And I can bring my passion for road safety into this. So whilst it started off as an accident, it grew around me. And I wanted to make a difference in road safety. Road safety, it does bring risks. It's a tremendous skill. But it brings so much to people. It really does. It's a sense of freedom. It's a sense of purpose. So it's not just a transport or an issue of transportation, although in many ways I think it can be a solution to transport problems. When you're stuck in traffic, you're not stuck in traffic, you are traffic. You're holding us motorcyclists up. The criteria that I set about right at the beginning, and that the instructors also use as part of their philosophy, that if it was one of our loved ones that we are teaching, we would want to ensure that they are as safe as possible on the road. And that's the philosophy we use. It underpins everything.
How long have you been in business, sir?
We first formed in 2018. We were effectively closed for COVID during 2020, 2021. Despite motorcycling being quite separate, you're not in close proximity, so you're kind of segregated. The government decided that we couldn't continue with motorcycle training. So that put the business back a fair bit. So yeah, since 2018, we started.
Would you say that was your biggest challenge, being shut down? Or what would you say has been your biggest challenge in growing this business? And how did you overcome it?
There are 2 biggest challenges. The first was the government themselves, and I've alluded slightly to that, but the other problem is finding sufficient tests motorcycle tests to meet our needs, because that could stymie growth. So there are 2 test centres in the part of England that we operate from, only 2. So we had to really set about thinking about, well, how can we help the government to help us? So the first thing we did was look at other potential test centres and then take our clients there, and looked at different transport methods of doing that. I put them in a van with the motorcycles, take them there, take the motorcycles out, give them some practice local, take them to their test. I wrote to the Secretary of State for Transport and offered to, because there was a big focus on car testing, and in Great Britain they got behind on car testing. So motorcycling was pretty much left alone. So I offered that if you take certain training schools, and it wasn't just about my own training school, but certain chosen training schools could do some of the off-road testing, which is the less risk area. They could do that, freeing up their examiners to then do the full road testing on cars until they were able to come back on motorcycles. So that was one point I did. The other was, let's look at the scheduling of your instructors. Work with me to look at the scheduling of your your examiners, so that your examiners are being utilised effectively and they're not changing out of motorcycle equipment to go and get into a car and vice versa. So let's have a look at how they're scheduled to say they're full-time employed on either motorcycle or car, to give them more time to do either. So that was how we worked with the government. So that was the one challenge. And the other one I've alluded to already was putting the right staff in place, getting the right instructors. So not just employing them for their skills in teaching and motorcycle skills, but ensuring they really value the business. Now, what we've done to do that, yes, we've altered the pay structure and brought that along, but we engage with our instructors in our policy making as well. So we don't just do it to them, we do it with them. We take them on the journey, and if they understand why the policies are what they are, then they're much more likely to adopt them.
Top piece of advice you would give to another entrepreneur or business owner today?
I would say, don't think that you know everything. There is always so much more to learn. Take a stock of where you are, look where you want to be, have a vision, go for it.
And that's a wrap for today's epic conversation here on Epic Entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, share it, or hit that bell. But until next time, let's make sure you keep dreaming, take massive action, and stay epic.